In Kiswahili, we have a word spelled H-O-T-A, pronounced hota. And this word means to treat a woman with medicine or healing so she is then able to have children. Now, let's backtrack for a second because, again, remember, it is said that the great Imhotep, after his passing, was entered into the realm of the Ninchuruwa, the Neteru, as the beloved one. And if I'm not mistaken, he was specifically the son of Paota. Now, if you can think of it, if a woman was what you call barren at one point in time, and then you have someone who is able to allow her to have children, to do procedures and to administer healing, to enable her to have children, you have to understand and understand that this would be a splendor. This person would be seen as something greater than a what you call normal Muntu, a normal person. Okay, this person must have gotten the abilities to do these things from the higher powers because he or she is administering the higher power on our Bantu or human level. Do you understand? So that is Hota, treating a woman with medicine or healing to enable her to have children. So in Kiswahili, we also have a word, pa, and this means a definite position, and it's a very specific place. So again, pa in Kiswahili, a definite position, a definite place, is the exact same translation as the Hebrew pa, which means here at this place. Exact same translation. So then in Chibimba, we also have the word pa, and it means to give. So we have translated and deagglutinated the hota, which is the HT, and the pa, which is the P at the end of the word Imhotep. But logically, you would like to know, what about the M or the IM in the beginning? If we are familiar, and which we should be by necessity, with the Bantu languages, we will understand that Bantu means people, human. It means the ones with life within them. But the word Bantu is actually the plural form of the singular Mu'intu, person, the one with life within them. So that beginning of that word, it is actually a prefix, and it is mu. And not only does it mean person, but it also means within in the Kiswahili language. So if you think about it, what our people are saying with the word Muntu, Mu'intu, sometimes Mutu, as is seen in the ancient Kikuma language. What our people are saying is that each and every one of us have life within us. And that is what makes us Muntu. And together we are Bantu. So in the Kikongo language, we have the word Moyo or Moyo. And it's spelled M-O-O-Y-O. And that means belly. If you think about it, the belly is within the center of the body. It is within the body. So belly also would represent the placement of the womb, the placement where life is created. And if life is not naturally created or originally created, the one who is able to have that life created there is the one who has been able to give life to Moyo, as again, Chibemba, to give. So with this being said, the proper pronunciation that I often use, you will often see me use, for this word that you say as Imhotep would be pronounced Muhotapa in the Kiswahili language. And the definition of this word means the place of the one who heals. or the one who has healing within them. Do you understand? This is why I say, and well, actually, before I get into that, I'll say the other translations and definitions, and then I'll get into my explanation. Muhotapa, the place of the one who heals or the one with healing within him. This is the Kiswahili language. Now, in Chibemba, this word would be pronounced Mutipa. Mutipa. M-U-T-I-P-A. And it means to give medicine. Exact same thing. So then in the Kikongo language, we have the word Muitipa. Muitipa. And it means the one with medicine. So if we look at it, look at the organization of even just the lands now. Okay, let's look at the lands now. We all know that our people were one and have always been one before colonization. So if we just look at the geographic locations now, Kiswahili will represent east portion of Kukongo. Chibemba would represent southern portion of Kukongo. And Kikongo would represent more so the western or central portion of Kukongo. So even if we have today the spreading of the geographic location of these languages, the exact same concept is still the same. This is why I say that it is my assessment that Muhotapa was not a human, but he was actually a personification, the one who gave the inspiration and the ability to do these great things in mathematics, architecture, and of course, medicine. In a sense, it was a title that was given to all of the Bakongo healers, as you say, medicine men. It would be no different than saying the word Swami in Hindu or Buddha in that belief. It's no different than saying a doctor today. Do you understand? This title was given to all who had this ability. Because if you think about it, Muhotapa, if being in the, let's say that the 5,000, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm incorrect, between like 5,300 to 5,500, I think it was, is when he existed. However, if we actually look at this, if he was the first to create the first monumental structure, the largest structure on Earth Mother, merely 7,000 years ago, then we have to question how is that possible when the structure that you call the Sphinx was created during or before what you call the age of Leo, which is over 10,000 years ago. The monument actually was one of the first creations established in Chikoma, and it was established by the Batwa Bantu. So this was at a time where dating has not been able to admit to you, at least European dating, or Zahi Hawass dating, has not been able to admit to you. So merely 7,000 years ago is not possibly far enough back into our story to have the first multi-genius to create great structures, architectures, healing, and whatnot. Because as we know, healing has been one of the most fundamental practices and traditions in Kukongo. So, one person could not have possibly represented these things. But I say the personification of the inspiration given to all who were able to achieve these things, that personification was called Muhotapa, and it became the title of those who were able to administer these great abilities. And if you look at the History Channel and do some research and whatnot, I love the History Channel because they show so many things that you can look at and just laugh at. But you got to know what to pick and choose. Take the meat, spit out the bones. What you have to look at is what they're telling you at the same time they're not telling you. And what they're not telling you is that, yes, everyone in that area or a multitude of people in that area came to this specific location that is assumed by what you call the step pyramid, in that land that is now called Saqqara. There's a location near it that they found thousands of bones and idols and statues. I hate saying idols, but statues of reverence to the great Imhotep. And all throughout the Nile Valley, you see statues of Imhotep. Now, basically what it was saying was people came to this place to get healing when they had illnesses and they needed whatever it was to administer. This is going back to the Kiswahili name, Imhotep, meaning the place of the one who heals. That doesn't literally mean that there was a healer there at all times. It could also mean that there were many healers there over time, and that was his abode or her abode or their doctor's office, basically, that people came to. And it also it represents the fact that all of these statues were found. The statues represent the same thing as the great Ra, the great Heru, the great anyone, the great Shango. All of the statues represent the great ones of the higher power that represent the inspiration administered at the time. And Imhotep was no different. So when they tell you that the great one was deified after his death, there never was a death, because the great one was always an Nchora or a netter. Do you understand? So this is why I say, yes, it may rub you wrong, some of the ones who stand on, because we must understand Imhotep is one of the fundamental figures in our story that many of our great scholars, Dr. Ben and Sheikh Diop, many of our great scholars stand on him being the first genius, multi-genius. But what I'm asking all is to expand your understanding of our people's ways of thinking. And then by doing so, we will get a better understanding and more importantly, better understanding, being that they are in us, we are them. That better understanding will show you that the way we thought we always revered the medicine man, we always revered what you call the voodoo doctor, hint, hint, the healer. We have always revered them. So expand your way of thinking. And we will jump to the second Hebrew translation we'll get into.